Ronda Rousey is a polarizing name. Whether you believe that she's underrated, overrated, it seems like everyone has an opinion about Ronda Rousey. And recently, Eric Bischoff went off on her, and I think he's justified in some of the comments in which he made. Not all, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I thought he was very fair in his assessment of Ronda Rousey. Look, Ronda Rousey is someone who made the transition from MMA to pro wrestling. She had a very dominant MMA career, and ultimately, the lack of outside interest and times she's changing. MMA caught up to her. Holly Holm caught up to her. Amanda Nunes caught up to her, and she made the jump to WWE. And she had a very successful first run with the company. And her second run, not necessarily, but hey, to each his own. Now she made an appearance for AWROH, and her future is kind of up in the air. Reportedly under a handshake deal, and AEW's hopeful to use her in the future. But that's really not what this video is about. What this video is about is the truth about Ronda Rousey, something that Eric Bischoff brought up on his 83 Weeks podcast while talking with Conrad Thompson. I'm going to get to that. But when it comes to Ronda Rousey, she was never the best promo in the world, although she was pretty good in moments. WWE used her the right way in her first run, where it was very limited in the sense of they booked her the right way, I would say, right? They put her in high-profile matches. Her feud with Charlotte Flair, her feud with Becky Lynch really took her to the next level, and I enjoyed that. Her second run, though, it was lackluster, and I'll get to that in a minute. Because let's get into what Eric Bischoff had to say. And I posted this on Wrestling News Co. as well. According to Eric Bischoff, he thinks Ronda Rousey is overrated in the wrestling business, and she never clicked for him while she was getting a big push in WWE. I don't want to say she's overrated, but I think in terms of the professional wrestling industry, she's overrated, Bischoff stated. Obviously, very accomplished mixed martial artist, very accomplished in judo, phenomenal athlete, but she never clicked for me in WWE despite the push from the gods. She got an amazing push, but there was something lacking with her, and she never clicked with me. I don't think she really clicked with the audience. Not long after she arrived, I think the shine kind of wore off of the star pretty quickly, and I never got the feeling that she was really serious about the industry. Then he talked about how he felt like she didn't put in the effort that she could have. This is what he had said. I just don't think she's as big of a name as people sometimes like to think she is, Bischoff stated. I think she's a matter to the buyer. I don't think there's going to be a media buyer out there or a programming buyer out there or an executive that's going, oh, wait, you got Ronda Rousey? I wasn't too sure about this deal, but now I really want to do it. I don't see that. He thinks she never bought into wrestling. She never bought into being a pro wrestler full time. But instead it was, well, she lost back-to-back UFC fights. WWE's willing to use her. They're going to pay her a boatload of money. She doesn't have to work a full schedule. Let me go to WWE. I disagree with that, although I do agree that she handled those losses terribly. But at the end of the day, Ronda Rousey was someone who, in her first run, was used very, very well. The second run, there was something missing. They tried to recreate what she did in her first run, but I agree with Bischoff in the sense of the shine wore off. I don't. Was she overrated in wrestling? Yeah, probably. If you include her second run. If she never had a second run with WWE, then no, she's not overrated. It was one of the greatest first years in pro wrestling behind Kurt Angle. It was phenomenal.